In a world where carbs are your enemy, you need one man to help you fight your battles. That man is Jimmy.
Combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What up, my keto homies? You know, I gotta tell you about my main man, the LL Cool J of podcasting himself, Mr. Jimmy Moore, and his banging new project. Check it out right now, baby, at KetoWhiteboard.info. This website is on fire and dope for, people digging the whole low-carb, high-fat, ketogenic thing. You hear me? This educational resource is, super tight with simple 1-minute videos explaining the whole, healthy keto lifestyle. Go bust a move to KetoWhiteboard.info and represent. Peace. Yo, you still there? This is LL Cool J telling you to get on that ketogenic thing at KetoWhiteboard.info. It'll keep you jingling, baby.
Simplified short-form keto videos found exclusively at KetoWhiteboard.info. Watch it, share it, live it. Brought to you by
Mr. Jimmy Moore
from LivingLaVida.lowcarb.com.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live, and we're here with another episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. If you want to engage in the content of this show, you have to go follow me on Instagram if you want to do it live. So go follow me there at Living Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you are there, you can engage live, just like all these beautiful people are doing right now coming in. Thanks for being here, you guys. You can watch it on replay also on Instagram. They leave it up for 24 hours. I have hundreds upon hundreds of people that watch all of my Jimmy Rants on replay on Instagram. So thank you guys if you're watching on replay. After 24 hours, it does disappear from Instagram. But never fear, I got you covered. We throw all the past episodes up on YouTube. So go look up Jimmy Rants as a keyword search either on YouTube or Google. You will find the show. Finally, we have the best of the best moments of this here show in podcast form. It's the Jimmy Rants podcast on Apple Podcast as well as Stitcher. JimmyRants.com is the website. Today's Jimmy Rants is all about something that's been making news over the past few weeks. And maybe you've seen one of these articles talking about the so-called Keto Crotch. If you have seen this in the news media, raise your hand. Say something about, yes, I've seen it. Something. But this whole idea of the Keto Crotch being a side effect of a ketogenic diet has really made the rounds all over media. But guess what, guys? It was nothing more than a hoax that was promoted by a PR firm. So the so-called Keto Crotch was nothing more than a PR firm Crock. Get ready to have your mind blown. And they're going to hate it that we're exposing this today. But this is the kind of stuff that we're up against as a movement. Keto is a huge movement. And if this story doesn't prove how freaking scared they are that the keto movement has caught on and caught on strong, I don't know what's going to prove it. All right. So if you're just joining us, yes, we have had a lot of Keto Crotch stories come up, and there's a reason for that. There were 28 total stories that hit over an 8-day period. And this was actually a paid journalistic hit piece. And they paid people and companies for tweeting about it and retweeting about it. They paid for the so-called experts that were quoted in the story. This one here that I printed off had various experts in it, including board-certified OBGYNs from Yale, on and on and on, different people. And their whole point was simply to make keto look bad. Okay. So there was a PR firm involved in this. The name of the PR firm, and I'm not ashamed to tell you who it is called Edelman, Edelman. They're a big-time public relations firm. And you want to hear who some of their clients are? Lean in close, because this is going to be revelatory. Get ready, you guys. Edelman represents Barilla Pasta. You think Barilla Pasta is feeling the pinch of the keto diet? Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers actually turned to Edelman. I found a news story. Weight Watchers turned to Edelman. What was this story? September of 2018. So September last year, Weight Watchers hired Edelman to handle global consumer PR. They chose them. They're a leading global consumer PR company, providing strategic counsel on influencers, ambassadors, yada, 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 yada. They're working on ongoing campaigns, including a smear attack against keto, apparently. Weight Watchers transitioned to a global purpose-driven brand, which was the catalyst for reassessing the public relations agency partners. We looked for a partner who would share our vision, had the global mindset and capabilities to bring our new purpose to life. You mean the new purpose of making people continually hungry on your Weight Watchers plan? Yeah. And to lie about keto just to get your way because you're... Nobody's buying it, Weight Watchers. We want to inspire healthy habits for real life, for people, families, communities, the world, and for everyone. Does that include lying about a very viable, healthy way of eating? Because that's exactly what they did. If you're just joining us, you've seen about all these stories about the so-called Keto Crotch. And so many of you are like, are you going to address the Keto Crotch on Jimmy Rants? And I'm like, no, it's not a thing. Every single medical doctor, practitioner that I talk to in my circle of friends in the keto world, when I ran this by them, they're like, that's not a thing. What are you talking about? And yet it was out there in all kinds of news stories. I have the list, you guys. Here are all 28 stories, a whole list of them, 28 different publications. Some of them very prominent. People Magazine, Forbes, Fox News, Daily Mail, Parents Magazine, Women's Health Magazine, New York Post, The Sun, Daily Mirror, Insider, Daily Star, Yahoo, For Women First, news.com.au. The list goes on, and it was all about this stupid Keto Crotch story. And we now know this was a paid hit piece. Paid for by ostensibly the people that pay the wages for this Edelman PR firm. Paid for by Weight Watchers, by Barilla Pasta, and oh yeah, there's another one on this list. EATLancet. You're probably like, what in the world is that? Remember that study that came out that I did a whole Jimmy Rants on several weeks ago now, that talked about, oh, we need to move away from red meat and more towards a plant-based diet. And here's a study that proves it. EATLancet has the same PR firm, Edelman, that got that news story out into the news cycle. And everybody, oh my gosh, this is damnation on keto. And it was just a bunch of PR marketing nonsense that's put out there. And guys, this is what we're up against. This is why we have to be hyper vigilant about this kind of stuff. It's why I will continue to expose this kind of stuff to you guys. Because there are forces at play that are not happy that keto is a thing. Because they're losing money. I did a whole Jimmy Rants, I believe it was about a week ago, all about how Weight Watchers is feeling the pinch. Their value of their stock is down almost 75-80% from the time Oprah Winfrey came on as an investor. It's down a whole lot. And they're running scared. Keto is changing people's lives, And they just can't take that their little monopoly that they've had on information for so many years without having nary an eyeball get scorned and scrunched by it. That day's over. They're getting exposed. And people are paying more attention. And they're losing money hand over fist. So if it means they have to lie about keto as a way to prop themselves up, you need to know that. You need to be telling your friends and family about that. Maybe they saw this Keto Crotch story and, oh my gosh, if you're a woman especially, oh my gosh, are you stinking down there? And it's like, come on. Come on. The most expensive part of the operation was all the paid media. They spent millions, probably tens of millions upon millions of dollars. A lot of people don't realize this. You can pay media to pretty much run whatever you want if you have the money. And that's what these companies did. They spent a whole buttload of money to try to tell you that Keto Crotch was a thing. In fact, 28 unique articles came out between February the 25th, 2019 and March the 4th, 2019, and they're still coming out. They're kind of trickling out. And what happens when you do paid media like that is you get a lot of kind of ripple effect media that comes from that. So somebody reads one of these paid media and then they maybe write a post on their blog or they share it on social media, and it becomes this kind of tentacles everywhere out there in the media world. That's why it's dangerous. That's why they do it, by the way. They know they can get it out there really fast in a big way. So if you see an article or a topic suddenly burst out of nowhere and explode across all of the internet, almost invariably, that's going to be something that was paid media. Let that be your litmus test from now on. When you see something like this, that 9 times out of 10, it's probably a PR firm behind it. Hundreds of millions of eyeballs will pay attention to all of these paid media. And I mean, it's just like headline after headline after headline, all about Keto Crotch, the latest icky side effect of going low carb. My junk is funky. Keto Crotch, another excellent reason not to cut out your carbs. Keto Crotch, it's a thing and you don't want it. Keto Crotch, no. Today I discovered all the horrors of the Keto Crotch. Keto Crotch, the nasty side effect of the celebrity diet fad. Women complaining of Keto Crotch thanks to diet loved by Gwyneth Paltrow. The new fad diet is causing Keto Crotch among women. On and on and on. It's everywhere. And this is the kind of thing, you guys, that we are up against. And knowledge is power. Now you have the knowledge that this was a contrived story. It was never, ever a thing. But they made it into a thing when they were able to get paying journalists, basically a paid advertisement for not keto. They wanted to get the not keto message out there. And this is the way they did it. And they were willing to spend tens of millions of dollars to get it out there in a really big way. So now that you know, what are you going to do with that? Now that you know the so-called Keto Crotch was nothing more than a PR firm, Crock, what do you do with this information? Well, number one, you educate. Maybe you send this Jimmy Rants video. Once it's up on YouTube and you can share it all out there, let people know. Oh, you worried about the Keto Crotch? Watch this. And then when people's eyes are open, I don't think most people realize there are PR firms whose sole purpose is to pay to get into media like this. And this company, this Edelman company, they're very sophisticated at doing this. They probably have done this for many years without people even noticing. But guess what, Edelman? We noticed. We noticed what you did there. And we know your clients Barilla. We know your clients EATLancet. We know your clients Weight Watchers. All are extraordinarily happy because They got that message out there in the mainstream, and people are talking about the keto crotch as if it's a thing. And what I'm here to tell you is, yeah, we're talking about it, but we're laughing at you because you just made a big fool of yourself thinking that we weren't going to notice. We noticed. We're on to you. And I ain't going to stop watching what you're doing. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. Welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for being here, you guys. I had to get this story out here sooner than later because it's horrible. Tina says, yeah, that story about Keto Crotch going wild on Instagram. Instagram, Facebook, it's everywhere, which is why I wanted to address it here sooner than later. Alberto said, this is the rant I was waiting for. Yeah. C-Doc, who hired them? Well, their clients, I mentioned their major clients, Barilla, EATLancet, and Weight Watchers. And all three of those had money to spend. Yep. Dory says, hit them where it hurts, the crotch. Well, I'm gonna hit them harder than just in the crotch, but yes, it's disgusting what they've done. Nancy says the keto crotch is a crock. Yes, it is. Jeannie says, makes no sense, or made no sense. Doctors always say to give up sugar when a woman has a yeast infection. And see, that's the thing. We addressed this on Keto Talk last week, last Thursday, and the guest fill-in co-host, Dr. Gus Vickery, said, he's not really seen that, but his guess would be that there would be some kind of maybe pH balance shift that would happen that might possibly cause it, but he's been in practice for 15 years, and not once had he seen anything like this. I know Dr. Jason Fung said that he's been in practice, he's never heard of this, and suddenly now that keto's a thing, it just pops up. And see, here's the thing. If keto crotch was a thing, why didn't it come up during the Atkins diet popularity 15 years ago? I never heard about the Atkins crotch. Or what about paleo when it was a thing, 5-10 years ago? I never heard of paleo crotch. This was a concerted effort, you guys, to discredit what is arguably the biggest diet trend of all time, keto. I didn't believe it from the beginning. So ridiculous. Yeah, Val, the problem is those of us in keto, we looked at it and went, no. But the problem is there's so many people so aware of keto on the ancillary, they're not really into this, and they see that and go, oh my gosh, I don't want to have that issue happen, so let me avoid keto, which was the stated, intended purpose. Jesse says, this stupid topic has blown up, shaking my head. It blew up because there's just enough awareness of what keto is that when you put a negative stigma associated with it, the intended purpose is to discourage people. And it did do that, which is why I'm doing this Jimmy Rants today, to share the whole truth of what that was all about. Dory says they're shaking in their boots. You bet they are. I don't ever remember any kind of attack like this on paleo. Paleo got a lot of criticism, but I don't remember a major PR attack like this. Atkins, I was only in it towards the tail end of the Atkins movement. I'm assuming he got some of this kind of thing, especially from the vegan people, but man, oh man, this is rough. Thank you for setting the record straight. You're welcome, Jesse. That is why I am here. Keto got him running scared, says Nancy. It sure does. Shame on Oprah for promoting this crap via Weight Watchers. Well, Tina, I don't know if she was directly involved with this PR agency attack, but she's certainly one of the major investors in Weight Watchers. So I would think if they spent a lot of money marketing-wise to pay this PR firm, she would have to be aware of it. Shock tactics, say crotch and watch the people click away. Or the sheeple. Yes. Dr. Joe, unreal. Yeah, sadly it's real though. Yale doctors will probably say anything for money. Well, that's probably a whole nother Jimmy Rants for a whole nother day. Never trust anything that comes out of Yale, never, says C-Doc. Doc Barry addressed this medically, says Jesse, he didn't seem to want to waste his time, but felt the obligation because people were going crazy. Yeah, like I said, a lot of people were asking me to do a Jimmy Rants about this, and my spidey senses were on strong. There was just something not right about that story. And now that this truth has come out about this being a PR tactic from a highly sophisticated PR firm, they do this kind of stuff all the time to help their clients. 3 major clients that are not benefiting from the keto trend. Yeah, I resisted the urge to talk about it because it wasn't a thing. To me, it's like I don't feel the need to respond to every little thing that goes up against keto, and especially when they're this absurd. I am very grateful Ken Berry did his video because he did provide some medical information about if this is a thing, this is what might be going on. But at the end of the day, this really had nothing to do with keto. This was everything to do with let's discredit this thing that is helping people change their lives. Darla says, ugh, let's truly look at sugar yeast causing true yeast infections, for sure. This type of rant's very important for people who are just learning or who have never heard of keto. Exactly, Alberto. It's one reason I always try to bring you guys cutting edge information when this kind of stuff pops up, because you're not going to hear it in the mainstream. I guarantee you all those publications that put out these Keto Crotch articles, there will be no retraction. There will be no mention of the truth behind how those got published, because guess what? That's their money train. Why would any of those entities that got paid to publish this nonsense, why would they cut off the gravy train? The point is they wouldn't. And so who's left in the dark there? The consumer. Who is left to try to figure it out without getting all the information? The consumer. So that's what I'm doing here today on this Jimmy Rants. Wait until they decide to do keto Weight Watchers. Oh, Dory, I will so rant. Thanks for exposing these lies. You're welcome, Bonnie. That's kind of my job. Heather says, this kind of bleep is what leads to the health information censorship that we're dealing with now. And this was a form of censorship. They don't like the keto's getting out there in a positive way. So if we can put in a story or 2 or 28 all about the so-called keto crotch being a thing, they're basically saying, oh, all that good stuff you're hearing about keto, yeah, we're going to try to negate that with one big headline. And they probably did a pretty good job with it of getting that message out there. But now the truth is getting out there today. Magnolia says, just like yesterday's news, low-carb diets cause AFib. Well, guess what? That's what's next on my list. I'm going to do a Jimmy rant shortly after this one. So stay tuned. We'll be doing all the AFib story. But this keto crotch story needed to get out there sooner than later. They're so threatened, says Ashton, they will say anything to scare people away from keto. That they sure will. Keto saved my crotch, says Heather. No more vulvar cancer, or I can't pronounce that, lichen sclerosis. It's no bueno, right? The cure to keto crotch is toss your carbs in the toilet. Just don't let them clog the toilet. Put a loaf of bread in the toilet, that might clog it up, so. RL Blackbean, I don't appreciate the fake news, but in all fairness, do you have the actual numbers and facts of who paid for it? No hate, just wondering. No. The answer is no. But we do know that Edelman is the PR firm behind Weight Watchers, EATLancet, and Barilla. Okay? And we do know that this was a paid media. We do have that information. Who was it? There was a gentleman on Twitter who put this out here, John Zahoric. He actually was the one that exposed this. So, John Zahoric, thank you for your information. But he was the one that found that this was paid media. He found the 28 articles that were paid for that got out there. And then it was Nina Teicholz, actually, that showed that this warfare includes paying journalists, paying for tweets, paying for experts, and that the PR firm representing Barilla, EATLancet, and Weight Watchers simply want keto to go away, and that the fact is there really was never any evidence that there was any such thing as keto crotch. The thing about these kind of tactics is they can cover their footprints pretty well. But there's no denying it. This was a concerted effort to try to bring down keto. And lest anyone thinks otherwise, they are running scared. They are losing money hand over fist. And I don't blame them for wanting to try to do anything to try to survive. But this kind of tactic is criminal, in my opinion. They should not be allowed to do this kind of thing, because all it does is confuses the public, makes them go frantic. And that was their stated purpose. They don't want people doing keto. If you disagree with keto, why don't you tell me why your plan, Weight Watchers, is so much better than keto? If you don't like keto, Barilla, why don't you tell us why eating pasta is the bomb diggity and it's going to make you optimally healthy? If you don't like keto, EATLancet, then stop putting friggin' science out there that you should be eating a plant-based diet, because if that actually worked and people were getting healthy from that, they would be doing it. But we've tried those things and they've not worked. I've tried eating pasta for health. It doesn't work. I haven't tried Weight Watchers, but I've done Weight Watchers like diets before, and they have not worked. Keto works. It's worked so well, I'm going to be doing it for the rest of my long and healthy life. I'm so freaking over it daily. I have people messaging me about crotch, and I'm like, first off, mind your own darn crotch. Second off, I've never had an issue with this, says Brittany Keto Glow. Yeah, exactly. It is amazing that anytime something gets in the media, I don't have to worry about trying to find it. It comes to me. And whenever I get something in double digit coming to me through email and Instagram messages and all the ways people can contact me, when I get double digit, I know we're looking at a ton of people that are worried about whatever it is I got the message about. This is how we know we're making a difference. That's right, Dory. Carb industries are bleeding really, really bad. Alberto, they are. Sharon says, let's give them Keto Crotch. Let them shove all these articles where the sun don't shine. I love you, Sharon. That's awesome. Nancy says, this goes to show that the big industry is threatened by true health that comes from keto. Exactly. Where was the PR stunt info published? So on Twitter. So go look up Nina Teicholz put some information out there, and then she tagged the guy who ran down all of the articles that were paid for. So go on Twitter on Nina Teicholz, the Big Fat Surprise, and you can see a lot of this information I'm sharing. Thank you for exposing this ridiculousness. You're welcome, Dr. Joe. Companies need to get on board or get left behind. We vote with our dollars and they're feeling the pinch, says Dory. That's right. If Keto Crotch were a thing, says Ashton, good old-fashioned soap and water will handle it. That's what I'm thinking. It's like, okay, that's like the people who talk about the keto flu. I'm like, okay, it is a thing if you ignore electrolytes. So get your salt, get your water, get your magnesium, get your potassium, and that's not really a thing. We only make it a thing because you're not doing the things that it takes to take care of the thing, right? Not to get too personal, my comfort levels are better in check on keto. No more yeast or bladder infections. And that's a good thing. So sad that the almighty dollar is more important than health. Magnolia, sadly, it is. Sadly, it is. Can't believe how many keto people I've had to argue with about this, says Chrissy Sue. Not the keto people in the know. I would say keto newbies, probably this is freaking them out. Let's all keep proving them wrong. Go keto. We will, Bonnie, we will. My mom only keeps weight off with Weight Watchers when she's counting points and doing it, which she isn't right now, so she's gained back the weight. That is the trick. I did a whole rant all about Weight Watchers last week, so go watch that. Propaganda is what I said, and folks these are the experts, yet I named names of actual experts that said it's BS. I smell unclean folks in public, but I don't think keto is to blame. Yeah. So guys, the bottom line in this Jimmy Rants is you've probably heard all about this so-called Keto Crotch, because there were 28 specific articles, and they're still trickling out there, you guys. You'll probably see a few more before it's all said and done, but 28 articles that were bought and paid for by a PR firm named Edelman. And that PR firm is the client of Weight Watchers, EATLancet Study, and Barilla Pasta. And so you have to know this. This is the kind of stuff that's going to continue to happen as keto is continuing to be a thing. We're going to be up against very powerful forces in the media that will do all they can to discredit what keto is. So please share this far and wide, because people need to know the truth. I think people are going through their lives and they come across this information. Oh my gosh, Keto Crotch, blah, blah, blah. But it's never been a thing. But they made it into a thing with tens of millions of dollars to get it out there in a big way. You need to know this so that then you can share it with friends and family, so that then they know it and they can't get fooled by this nonsense from a PR firm. That's it for this episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. As always, you can go follow me on Instagram. That's where the fun begins. Instagram Live, where I engage live with my followers, just like these amazing people here today. Thank you guys for being here. Go follow me there at Living Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, you can engage live in the content. After that, though, you have to watch it on replay, but it's up there for 24 hours to watch. Go watch it on replay. If you miss the replay, it does disappear after 24 hours. Pop on over to YouTube, where we will have this video sitting right there for you forever and ever. Amen. Because what goes on YouTube stays on YouTube. And so it'll be over there for you to share. If you would like to share this video, type in a keyword Jimmy Rants. You will find the show. Finally, we have the best of the best moments of this here show in podcast form on the Jimmy Rants podcast on Apple Podcast and Stitcher. JimmyRants.com is the website. All right, guys, I'm going to take a quick little break, and I'll be back to talk about that AFib, low-carb, keto AFib story that's making all the rounds in the news media. So I'll be right back in a few minutes with that one. See ya.